Tail Gunner here. I'm at the North Fork Skokomish River trailhead. This area burned in July of 2025. They opened this area up on July 8th, 2026. Today is July 13th, 2026. Up that way is the trailhead up to the North Fork Skokomish River. Trail is open as far as the Rapids Bridge. Everything beyond that is still closed. Burned area rules. Stay on open trails. Beware of falling rocks and trees. Check the weather. Help forests recover by staying out of restricted areas and follow fire restrictions. Speaking of restricted areas, the other trailhead from here is Wagon Wheel Lake Trail, which has this big closed sign on it. And looking up here, hill, you can see how close the fire got to coming down into the campground area itself. Behind me down the hill is the Staircase Ranger Station and the Staircase Campground. Campground also, as of July 8th, is open. So today the plan is to hike up this side of the river, cross the Rapids Suspension Bridge, and hike back down the other side of the river. We'll see how much into the fire zone we get and what has survived and what needs to regrow. Staircase Rapids Loop Trail. We got the developed campground down below us here, coming up this side. Nice green side on this side of the trail. Gulch fire on this side of the trail. The only thing that is open right now, month of July 2026, is the 1 mile section up to the suspension bridge, and I believe back down on the other side. Everything beyond the loop trail is still closed. Green, burnt. Even though I'm out on what I expect to be a 2 to 3 mile day hike, I do have a day pack with the 10 essentials in it. Also, in addition to that, I have a few other things. I had my Garmin with me. Though note to self that not only does it help to have a Garmin with you, it also makes sure that the battery on the said Garmin is charged. I checked that the GoPro was charged last night. I checked my cell phone was charged last night. I thought the Garmin had charge on it, so I didn't actually check it. I just turned it on and it immediately shut off, saying the battery was dead. The only redeeming factor here is, because I thought I might be shooting a lot of video today, I have a battery bank with me, and the Garmin is currently in the backpack charging. If nothing else, I will send a few messages to people letting them know where I am. You can see how the fire jumped around. We've got green ahead on both sides. We have burned area down there. We have a lot of burned area up there. So I think that's going to be the pattern for this area. I'm been told there's a sign saying there's a bridge out before the suspension bridge. So we'll see how we deal with that. Yeah, so the fire jumped around here. You can see down there, there is a section that it came across the trail and burned there, but there's also a lot of green around here. That tree is scorched all the way around the bottom, but sorry for the sun glare. You maybe see that it's still green at the top and still alive. Back at the trailhead, there's a sign that there's a bridge washout and we had to navigate it. Someone just confirmed this is the bridge washout this year. I guess they said you could go across those logs when it was flowing, but yeah, we can use a little bit of rain here. It's dry again this year. From here, not only do you have the near burn, you can see up on that, all the way to the top of that ridge. The whole ridge is burned all the way to the top there. And now over there, between the trees, there is a little bit of greenery, green trees there. But straight through that gap, it's burned. It came all the way down here. And it's burned out that direction toward the river. So it's been a year since the fire. You can obviously see fire damage, but in the intervening year you can see a lot of the green undergrowth has come back in, and the fire skipped around. There are green trees and living trees among the burned ones here. However, we're coming into another area here. Above the trail here, there is virtually very little green. Same thing for on the rise over there. There is a little bit of water flowing through here, down here low, and I think that's why we have green right down in here. But as soon as you get out of this depression, there is basically no green. Staircase rapid loop suspension bridge. Gulch River. You can see burned area on the left bank beyond the green. There's scattered burn area over there. The loop trail is the only portion of this area that is open. Everything beyond here is off limits and very well marked. Normally, when the trail is closed, the authorities will put a stick or two across the trail to indicate it's closed, not to proceed. Sometimes people miss it. However, in this case, Park Service said, hold my whatever. They're not missing this. We've seen footprints beyond here. It's a logical turning point, even though that next section is good, because you got the bridge right there. You got that going back down, which I just came from. You got that up there in the burn area. We're going back downriver now. We are now coming into an area where it looks like the fire came all the way down on the far side and actually crossed the river right here and burned up the side to my right here, right over there. Behind me is not totally burned. There's some burn, but there's also a lot of live trees back there. Here, not so much. Interesting how the upslope on that far beyond the bank, you got the initial lower bank that's green, and the upslope is completely bare dirt. There's nothing there. I'm assuming that was just heavily debris area that burned completely. I'm assuming it's not been human cleared. This hillside is an example which I think will be causing problems in the future years. We have steep hillside burned, debris laying on it, bare ground and rocks, and there is very little living plant life. There are some roots from trees that are dead there. They will rot out. So as water hits that, it's be prone to having debris flows down that hillside. And obviously a significant debris flow to make that passage there difficult. I think that is the issue with, one of the issues with opening up the trail further from here is that they're going to be having, probably the debris flows have already happened up there that they haven't cleared. There's signs here of trail work. These burned logs have been cut. That's going to be an ongoing issue here. Ooh, brand new railing. Why is there new railing here? We're not that far up trail from the campground. This low-lying wetland area has abundant ground cover growth in the last year, but nothing big in the immediate foreground here has survived. In fact, you see the reflection, I believe, of some of the campground buildings there in the distance. Walking through the burn area, I thought of the glass of water analogy. Is the forest half green or half burnt? Another blogger focused on the devastation and their surprise at the level of loss. I was actually expecting worse than it actually is. While there are burnt areas, the forest floor has been cleared of debris, and the understory is growing back in, especially in the low-lying areas with water. Even where the trees are dead, birds are flying around, meaning they are dropping new seeds. Many have focused on the fact this is caused by reckless use of fireworks. However, fire does not care what its source is, whether a human or lightning strike. Once it takes off, the effects on the forest are the same. There is ample evidence of large-scale fires in the Olympic Peninsula in the past, before human involvement in human suppression. The area will heal and recover, but nature does not always operate on human timescale. Alright, tail gunner, we have reached the Rapids Loop Bridge and the closure area. Beyond here, one does not go. That will probably be closed for the rest of the year, I suspect. When it does open, I'll be back.